Hey, here we go. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody, and Happy New Year to all y'all. Let's go. If you're watching, wherever you're watching from, it's a Happy New Year to you. And thanks for all your support and all the love. And if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Boom, here we go. All right. So today we're talking about the padlock, right? The padlock. Lock that boy down, right? It's flexibility in the lock. It's called the padlock. But today we're just gonna look at this game, and there's actually one point we're gonna pick up here that we want to talk about, actually, that you can use as well. Petrosian actually uses this a lot. You've seen him do it even against Spassky as well in another game. We'll talk about that one on another day. But today we're going to talk about this game, about this padlock, right? So, all right, cool. Here we go. This game is, what is the year again? 1959, 1959, and white was Tigran Petrosian. You already know him. And then I don't know how to say my man's first name, but Gligoric, which you know him. You know him. You've seen him before, King's Indian stuff, and like Gligoric variations and all that other stuff. But Sevtozar, right? You know what? Whatever. Okay. All right. So here we go. Petrosian. Here it is. D4. Knight of 6. E4. That's my guess. Nope. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Garbage. Now, actually, here, guys, make sure you are paying attention, because in the chat we will be actually asking you to figure out what we're doing, right? So you can figure out, what we have. Good evening, young man. Happy New Year. Good to see you. Looking forward to better chess this year. Hey, guys, better chess for everybody. I hope you have some chess goals and some big New Year's chess resolutions. Make sure you got those on there and ready to go. We'll be talking about some of that too later in the stream. C4, G6. So we got a King's Indian, one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's get it. So he plays D6, Knight F3, castles, Bishop E2. This is all theory, right? And we're going to fly through this. This is 45 moves, and we don't want this to be super long today. It is New Year's Eve. We want to turn up a little bit. So what we're going to do here is just keep it flying. Keep it like 15, 20 minutes today. So Bishop E2, and then E5, and then D5 from white. This is hey guys, what variation of the King's Indian is this right here? Who knows what variation of the King's Indian is this? What variation of the King's Indian is this? You know what's funny? I looked at this game like 5 times, and I'm laughing, because I'm now realizing what the variation of this is, and it's just so funny to me. It really is. Gligoric, no. D5 variation, no. Reverse well, nope. Not at all. Man, y'all need to get up on y'all King's Indian. What are you doing out here? Garbage. It is the Petrosian variation of the King's Indian. It's the Petrosian variation. He is playing his own variation. You know what I'm saying? He's playing his own variation of the King's Indian, which is pretty cool. So this is the Petrosian variation. But after knight b to d7, bishop to g5, and then h6, bishop h4, and a6, that's playable. I think some of the newer lines are with, well, a6 is played. And also they like to play g5 and knight h5, knight c5 in many cases, but the knight usually is not here. I like to play the knight a6 lines. Let's flip the board here just a little moment here, just to give y'all, I'm a King's Indian specialist, right? So the a6 move I'm not a fan of. I don't like the knight here because of the flexibility option of the bishop, not being able to help in attacks that sometimes can reach Mardel Platas with f5 after g5. Bishop goes back, you get f4 in, and the bishop can aim here, but the knight is stuck here. You don't get knight c5 in. You usually want to go knight a6, knight c5, put pressure on the e4 pawn. Play a5 as the outpost to keep the b4 pawn here. You can take on e4 at many moments when you move the queen over to e8 as well. And then after knight takes e4, you would take twice. You play g5 in many cases. It's really cool, bro. It's nasty. KID is ridiculous, but a6 is very, 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 very slow. Garbage. So, especially with this knight on d7. So, flip the board. Let's look at this again. Boom. When we go through this thing, after a6, white goes to knight d2, which is a very, very good move. Of course, we put some pressure. We also want to go b4 and c5 and put this knight on c4 in many cases. Maybe rack this bishop up to g3, castle, play f3. Bishop goes to f2 as well. Okay, cool. Black does go queen e8, classic style in the Petrosian here. Castles and knight h7. There is nothing special is about to go on right now. Bruh. This is about to be some boring, literally some moving around. It's about to be a lot of moving around. Knight h7, he plays b4. Knight g5, rook c1, right? And then after f5, he breaks with f5. Classical King's Indian way. He defends it with f3. So he defends that boy. We go f3. And then he goes queen e7. And this is slow play, guys. Like, there's nothing going on right now. I like to move the a1, rook to c1 in this position. There you go, curious chimpanzee. Look at that. Look at you, Moody. I see you. Would you work on queenside breaks? That's correct. In fact, here's a Jedi tip. Okay, the pawn structure points to which way you should be playing. So the pawn structure is pointing this way, which means white should be playing on what side of the board, class? Raise your hand. That's right, the queen side. Very good. So over here, the queen side of the board is where you should be playing. So b4 and c5 and etc. Knight to c4, stuff like that. And black on the other side, flip it. Where does my pawn structure point? Raise your hand. Right then, very good, class. Absolutely, the king side. Right. So what we're going to do here is actually play on this side of the board. Hence why we always get the king side attacks like this, because the pawn structure points that way. So you have no business playing on this side of the board. In many cases, like pushing this pawn, and it depends. There are lines that you can stop the queen side play and then continue yours, but it depends. It really depends. That's why King's Indian is such a deep opening. It's very dense in the study. Move order is very important. Definitely important. Right. So okay. You could lose a lot, but there's newer theory out now. Elevation is very playable. So king to h8, king to h1, sorry, and then knight to f6. After knight to f6, okay, cool. We're gonna leave it on you, chat. We've been moving fast through this. We only move 15. There's 30 moves left, and we haven't got to the point that we want to talk about with the padlock today. But it is white's move today. Or today in this position, and today it's white's move here. What do you do in this position? Let's get some moves in the chat. If you're watching, what do you think you can do in this position? We know some of the plans. We already kind of briefly talked about that. What do we do in this position? It says c5 looks good from Curious Chimpanzee. Well, I got a c5, 1 for c5. Capture says little ace essence. Yeah. We have c5 and we have capture. So capturing and c5. Or do you mean capture on f5 or capture on g5? Bishop f2 to push c5. a4. Rook g1, easy money. g5. a4 from third bird. Okay. Bishop d3. Knight a4. Very nice. Very nice. All these moves are good, chat. Dang, y'all ain't too. I mean, y'all been. I used to be like straight. I mean, like, first off, Happy New Year, everybody. Secondly, this year y'all have improved a lot because it was a whole bunch of 100% premium garbage going around here. But now I don't push the button as much. Clap it up for you, chat. Clap it up for you, because some of y'all then got a little bit better. It is actually c5. c5 is the move here. Great job. c5, you just open that boy up. Yes, he can take it, but that's what you want. Sometimes you even sack the d pawn too, just to go knight d5, knight c4. I mean, all your pieces get super active. So black plays knight h5 and says, I'm not touching none of that. Now, one thing you want to do is make sure they call it keeping the tension. That's what grandmasters say. Keep the tension, right? What does that mean? Try not to capture if you don't have to. Why would I take this pawn to help him develop, or help me clear the way to do other stuff? If it doesn't benefit you, then you probably should not capture. It just depends. Just depends. All depends on the position. Knight h5, right? And after this knight h5 move, there was a c6 from white here, which is really nice. c6, trying to open up the game. This is classic King's Indian style for players to play against the King's Indian. In these cases, you do need to play on this side of the board. b6 from black. And then here it was a little bit interesting that he chose to actually release the tension, which is very, not strange, but I mean, it is kind of different. You don't usually release the tension like this. And then after g takes f5, he plays, let me see what the engine says too. This is the first move. Let's see if you can find this, chat. This is the first move on the engine. First move on the engine. What is it? What move is that? White to move in this position. What do you do right now? I mean, Petrosian, that's why he was a world champ. Facts. This move right here is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, it's really just too much. I mean, shows the strength of this man at this time in 1959. Move number 1, engine. This is Stockfish 14.1, the new one. Move engine number 1. Engine move number 1, by the way. G4, F4 for the score. G4 for the score. F4. We got G4, king to G1s. Okay, G4s. Okay, chat. G4s. Man, that's crazy. 100% garbage. That's not a move. G4 is not it. Like, it just doesn't work. Right, after G4, I just go knight F4. Right, and I'm just chilling and I'm looking at you like, please open up shop. Please open up shop, right? If you take it here, I'm going to take it with the bishop. My pieces get active. I'm going to go King's Indian style and mate you on the G file, right? That did rhyme. So you're in a lot of trouble here. It does not work. It is 100% garbo. So, in fact, G4 does not work, but here's the move right here. Believe it or not, how many of you guys would have said this right here? G3. Wow. Bruh. It's the #1 move on the engine, and it just stops knight f4. And it threatens f4 at the same time. What a move. 55 hit here from Petrosian. Nasty. G3 threatening f4 because of the pin. Threatening also bishop hitting the knight and stopping knight f4. What on earth am I looking at? That's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. 1959. This is 1959 Petrosian. Right? Bishop f6, and then he plays f4. Right? So now you got pieces hanging. Uh-oh. Don't block with your face. So he plays knight g7 and says, go ahead, take. You take, I take. Same. Now, it is getting a little bit crazy. Shout out to Quantum. Thanks for that. Gifted right there. Let's get it. So here, this is where we're going to stop, and we're going to talk about the padlock here, right? The padlock. And this is something that actually Petrosian himself has actually demonstrated this in the Spassky game from the black side. In fact, she actually has that same theme here as with white, but he had the black pieces where he was able to demonstrate what we're about to talk about right now. In this position, he played knight to c4, which was fine, which was okay. But and actually, black is able to open up the game a little bit more and do stuff. But here, what do you think the move should be here, chat? What do you think the move should be, and why? Now, take a look. I want you to really actually take your time here. Really take like 20, 30 seconds and actually look at this position. Figure out what would you actually do right now. What are you going to do? What's the plan? What would black want to do? What would they want to do? And, you know, Petrosian's a prophylaxis monster too, so it's not anything super tactical. I'm about to make this man. You know how he plays. What should you actually play here? What should be the right plan? Bishop to c4 from Hype. Rook e1 from Turbo. Rook to e1. Rook to g1, put pressure on a king when it's time to open up. Okay? Very nice. Very nice. We have a rook e1, a rook to g1. We have a bishop to c4. And then we have a happy new year. Going to need some prophylaxis tomorrow. From Tommy in the chat. Let's go. Happy new year, my guy. Rook f2. Bishop h5 from Heavy on a Salsa. Let me allow that. Sorry. Okay, bishop h5. Rook f2. No clue. Queen b3, what's up, Contraband? Happy New Year, my guy. Queen b3, what's the idea? I'm thinking rook g1. Okay, cool. No one has said it yet. No, EPMD. All right, everybody stop what you're doing. Shout out to MPMD. Let's go! A4! A4! A4 is the move. Who can explain this to me? Who can explain this strange looking move? It just looked like A4. Oh, okay. What did he do? I don't care about no A4. What does it actually do, though? A4 is a move, but this is the move that should have been played. What does it actually do? Turns the key on that padlock. In a way, in fact, Red Hot Mama. Very nice. Sheesh. That's right. That's right. Timid. Yeah, very timid. A4, what does this do, right? In fact, let's think about this. The reason for this is what happens on B5. Somebody tell me what happens on B5. What happens on B5? Contraband says lock up the queen side. Red Hot Mama says A5. Why? Jeez, yeah. Block the queen. A5. Very nice. A5. Very, very nice. Nice little padlock. Nice little padlock here. Right? Now, we could take it. EPMD says you have 3 attackers. You're correct. We could take this, but you gave me counterplay that I'm looking for. Rook to B8, bishop A6. I mean, yeah, I'm down, but now my pieces get out. This is what I wanted. So, in fact, I go A5. And now look at your pieces. Look at... Bro, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. It's very locked up here. It's very locked up here. You can't move anything, correct? You can't move anything, right? Right? Okay, hold on. Petrosian 101. Big facts, right. So, what about, okay, hold on, chat, hold on. What about A5? What do you do on A5? What do you do on A5? I can't see Happy New Year from Argentina. What's good? What's good? My problem with this position, I lose on on time playing either side of this. Ethical Kid says B5. Thanks for the follow. Ipsy House. Pawn take, then take. So you say take the pawn. B takes A5. Okay, elevation. You're gonna get a heavy garbage for this one because you 1700 now. Garbage, so you getting it. I mean, garbage, I'm about to spam this. Garbage. There's no excuse for you to be playing B takes A5. You are absolutely, you need to get timed out for that one. The mods, can we get a 20-second, a 30-second timeout for that? That was gross. Garbage. That's disgusting. 1700, by the way. So B5. Yes, B5 is the move here. Padlock. Correct. Yes, B5 is the move, because if we play B takes A5, then we have Rook takes A5, and I mean, first off, Gligoric over here staring at you, looking at you all crazy, like, what is wrong with this guy? What an idiot! How garbage is this guy? Garbage. I mean, like, come on, bro. I was like, now I'm good. Like B5, so A5, B5, right? Lock that boy up. Padlock. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. See, and now let's flip the board here. Look at my pieces. I can't move anything. I'm getting mollywopped here. I'm getting destroyed. There's only a matter of time before I lose this game with the black pieces here. Right. It's a terrible, terrible game here. Terrible game. So, in fact, that didn't happen. And this is the lesson right here, was to show you guys what happens in these type of situations. When you see pawns like this, you can always push, right? The move that should have been A4. It should have been A4 to lock up things on this side of the board. Look for your opponent. You should be constantly thinking about, what does my opponent want to do? So A4 should be very, very nice here with B5 or A5. And whatever one you push the other one. There's a famous Boris Spassky playing with the white pieces versus Petrosian that did this exact same thing. I don't know if you guys remember, or for, really the chess people out there that know these games like that, where Petrosian was playing with the black pieces, playing A6 and B5. And the move was A6. The move was A6. Literally, the move was A6, happening the same way. And after B5, it was A5, and after A5, it was B5, with the same idea to lock the board up. After B5, would that be the best time to take F takes G5 to take mobility away from black? No, in fact, I would never take this at all. You want to keep the tension. So what happens here, A4, A5, B5, I would never, ever take this. So let's say Rook B8. I would just never, ever take this, right? Even if, let's make a move. If he takes me, I'm going to keep this here. This is the anchor. This pawn keeps all of your pieces all locked up. So I need to keep this here forever. Maybe bring the rook over here. Right now, I mean, there's some tactics involved right now because there's bishops here. So maybe, because I move my queen. But I'm just talking about the idea. The idea itself is like, you want to make sure we keep the pawn here or a piece here to block the rest of the pieces from doing anything. That streaming chat was good. Happy New Year. So, but that didn't happen though. Knight G7, after Knight G7, A4 would have been beautiful, called the padlock. So you guys can remember this for your own games. So Knight to C4 though was the move from Petrosian. Now we're actually going to fly through the rest of this. We don't move 19, but we are going to fly through the rest because we're over the almost at the time limit that we want to have for this video. So Knight to D2, he moved around, right? So he kind of locked it up anyway. But again, look at this. Boom, got the pawn here. We feeling good. Petrosian feeling nice out here. 94 takes. Rook takes, and bishop f3. Cool. This game became very long, and Petrosian not that he's not super tactical, but he don't be doing nothing with tactics like that all the time. He just, it's gonna be prophylactic. It's gonna be a game. You see how long it's gonna take a while, guys. I'm just moving through moves here, right? And this is still, even right here after they traded, it still feel like black is playing. Like, how is he still alive? But Petrosian play like that. So Rook E7, F5. I mean, look, yo, I'm back in the game, bro. But in fact, he's not. He's actually losing. This was the rest of the game here, guys. I'm just gonna kind of fly through it here because the lesson part was actually over here. We wanted to talk about the padlock today, so you can use it in your own games. But this is where the end of the game, it ended right here. Well, white's actually winning completely. All right, Rook takes his mate. You can't do anything about here. You have to book something like King H6, which runs into F6. Boom, F6. Let's say Rook F8 may be a possibility to attack this pawn. It's a logical move. Rook check, King H8, right? I take on C7, boom. And you may think that you're just fine. Oh, shoot, I'm getting out of this, right? Either Rook, it don't matter. Which one you take with, it doesn't matter. I go Rook D7 here, and I'm about to push. I got this one. I still got, possibilities to double in many cases and go around the back way. So this is completely winning. Everything's winning here, but it's just going to take a while. It's going to take time here, right? But again, remember the padlock here. Let's go back to that A4 moment right here. Right here. This moment, boom. I mean, this could have happened earlier in the game too as well. But when you have this little face-off like this, right? When one could get pushed, you can push the other. A4, B5, cool. We lock everything up. You can't move. These pieces are terrible. And if you do this one, we do that one, right? So hopefully y'all learned about the padlock today. Happy New Year to all y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube. I'm going to see y'all on the next video.